Good morning, Mr. Pig. How you doing, buddy? How you doing? Hey, good morning, guys. We're getting our day started today. Just gonna stop by real quick and say hello to the pigs as we head on out to Tyler. We're visiting a couple of friends out there. Where are we going?
Hi.
Hi.
We're gonna go have hubby and wife breakfast.
And
then we're gonna go learn how to start seeds because we're gonna do a garden this year. Hopefully.
When we first started, guys, we went all out. I mean, that's all we know how to do anyway. There's no holding back for us.
And then last year we did nothing.
Last year we did nothing. That is correct. Because I think we learned that we have limits and we needed to stop and roll, just slow our roll, because I think we had about 150-foot long rows of corn with like 5 seeds in each
And
little
pinto
hall.
beans.
And pinto beans.
So many pinto beans.
Oh my goodness. And it was amazing. It was great. But
The weeds win.
the weeds win every time.
We did not prep our beds.
Well, that, and then we don't use anything to kill. We try to stay away from all the chemicals and stuff. We are those crazy people that don't like that. Except this year. This year we're going to go after the ants because
Screw those guys.
Yeah. So, all right, guys. So here we go. This is going to be about a 30-45 minute drive into Tyler, and we are going to go have some tacos at this little taqueria. It's a barbecue place. I think that's what they call themselves. I think it's Hernandez. Don't quote me on that. I'm going to look it up, and then I'm going to tell you guys the actual place that we're going to. But they have some amazing tacos there. And we don't go into town that often. But when we do, we try to stop by there or the other barbecue place that's there, because I love barbecue. As you can tell, I like food. So anyway, here we go.
So they just called our number, and here comes a really happy guy with tacos. What you got there, babe?
We got food. You got a soda?
Una coca mexicana, because they taste better.
That's what my mom always said. So we got some frijoles. We got salsas right here. Fat boy happy? Okay. They're like super greasy, which is okay. Barbacoa tacos from Cachete. They're hot. Yeah, I'm not gonna do it. Super hot. That's it. And they're amazing.
And homemade tortillas.
Homemade tortillas. That's right. And they smell so great. The guys, they got a little kitchen out there. Anyway, I need to put this away because we gotta get on the road. That's more juice that's coming out from that barbacoa than grease, actually. Hi, babe. So we hadn't brought it up in any of the other videos, but how did we meet John and Crystal?
We met John and Crystal through the most amazing little homestead group on Facebook, East Texas Homestead Co-op. It started last August, September, and it was meant, or started as a way to get people together and go to what we call work and learns. And the work and learns are basically other homesteaders going to one homesteader's property and getting all their little homestead projects out of the way. So things that would normally take a year or more, you know, this group of people gets together and works together to get it all done in a day. It's pretty awesome. This group has been so great. We found something that we didn't even realize that we were missing. We've met so many great people, and Crystal and John are one of them. But they're people that we consider our friends now, and that's really what's awesome about this group, is that if you get out there and you make the connections and you start meeting people, other like-minded people who are homesteading in our area, and you make connections and you make friendships. And I honestly didn't expect that the friendships that we have made through this group would be what they are today. Like, I really consider these people our friends, and I love being a part of it. Something bigger than we are, encouraging people and helping people get projects done. East Texas Homestead Co-op is the name of the group. You can look it up on Facebook. The group is on Facebook, but it's based on live events. They also offer classes for a really reasonable rate. Typically they're $25 for a class on homesteading basics. Like, for example, today's class is seed starting. It's $25. Crystal and John have a market garden and anyway, so she's all things gardening, and she's really good at what she does. So she's teaching seed starting today, because apparently it's not always so simple, and I need help, all the help we can get, because I do well with animals, plants not so much. So we're gonna go and hopefully learn some seed starting tips, and hopefully we'll get to show you a little bit of what we do in class today.
We're gonna try to show a little bit in class, if that's okay with Crystal, because again, this is her class, so I don't want to overstep. However, after her class, I want to get her in front of the camera so that we can get some information from her, from her microgreens, because we are doing microgreens at our place as well.
Not yet, but we want to.
No, exactly. Yeah. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. We are going to be doing microgreens at our house. For ourselves. Not, they are the business. They run a business. That's their business. And for us, we, again, everything that we do for ourselves, it's for ourselves. It's not, we're not trying to make any type of money with our farm. If the day comes, if the time comes at one point, then probably we'll make that decision. But guys,
he's always said that as long as we can make back what it costs to feed our animals, then that's enough.
so in other words, it's if we eat for free, you know, and by that I mean if we have two and we sell one, we ate for free, because it evens out. Now we have goats, we have sheep, we have rabbits, we have chickens, we have a lot of chickens. We will be toning it down a little bit, and we're gonna quit the yes, we will. We're gonna do things different, based on our free ranging style. The gardening is not successful because chickens will be chickens, and they'll forage. They get out and roam around, and you know, they're scavengers, and they go and eat everything. So the goal is to keep them in a net, in a coop, and rotate them around pasture rotation with the pigs, with the cows, with the sheep. Whoever's in that paddock, that's who they're going to be with. Yes, it's a little bit more work, but in the long run, it allows you to maintain a garden alive a lot longer, because they're not going to go in there and tear it up for you. Now, our guineas, those guys are going to be free range because they fly better than chickens, and the intention is for them to go out there and eat all the bugs, because they do that better than the chickens. And that's what we want to change up this year. But again, I'm gonna say it again, I'm gonna continue saying it, we're not professionals at this, guys. We are homesteaders. When we did this, we went all in because we had the finances available for us to do so, and the reason why we do is because we had amazing people in our lives that helped us get there, and that's where we're at now. And that is the only reason why we went all in, guys. Cows, goats, pigs, everything in a homestead, we did it. That's not everybody's style, that's not everybody's freedom, but we were blessed, and we'll talk about that in future videos, because the reason why I wanted to do this channel, I want to share our story. And our video quality is not the best, the sound, everything else. Look, we're learning, we're going with it, and I thought it was a perfect timing for us to share this, because just like Crystal and John are helping us with our gardening, there's another couple that I've been teeing off of. I mean, I'm just on a regular basis, and I mean like every other day, I'll reach out to Sydney and Tori. They have a channel. It's the Naked Gardeners, and I'm gonna see if I can take that link and place it on here, so that if you guys follow us, you guys should definitely follow them. My wife is having issues over here, but you should totally follow those guys. And I think Crystal and John, I know they're on Facebook. Growing Branches, I believe it's their channel on Facebook, or their page on Facebook, and I believe they also have a YouTube. I'll ask John. So we made it to Winona. Hey, look, it's Texas. Winona, it's Texas. You pick and choose your accent. It's all the same. We know what we're talking about when we talk about it, so just roll with it. So this is their little town. This is where they're from, just on the outsides of it. That is on the north side, I believe, of Tyler, and we're more west of Tyler, which is roughly about 45 minutes to downtown Tyler from our house. But this is it. We're here. We're gonna get off here in a bit and start talking to John, talking to Crystal, and getting this class started. We're always late to stuff. I think I'm at the point now that if I'm late a couple of minutes, I'm okay now. I used to not like it, but my wife kind of made me relax, as in it's okay. Life doesn't have to be so fast, you know. So again, longest video.
It's 10:46.
Yeah, we're not late. I'm kidding. But this is definitely going to be the longest video that we've done so far. So again, guys, just hang in there. I'm delaying this. I'm trying to be dramatic, but no, this is going to be some good information, guys. For those of you that want to learn how to start a garden, start the seed, from the seedlings to, into a small little patch. That's what we're going to do. We're going to do raised beds. We're going to go small. And then the microgreens, guys. This is what it's actually about, the microgreens. The seeding is kind of it's a little added freebie there. So stay tuned. So we finally made it. We're at John's and Crystal's, and John's gonna make me work because I'm not part of the class. That's okay though. You can be part of the class. Their garden. This is their garden right here. John is going to be working on it, getting it ready, And he's probably going to do a tarp over here later on. We're actually going to move a tarp from one plot that they have up top. It's like a little, their land slopes a little bit, and then they have a pond back here. But what John's doing, he's cutting this twine from all their T-posts. This is where their tomatoes was. And John mentioned that some of these T-posts were leaning of how heavy their tomato plants got. So they must have weighed quite a bit. I'm pretty sure they got a lot of tomatoes. How many plants did you guys have here, John?
I don't even remember.
You don't remember?
150.
About 150? My goodness.
Yeah. 120, something like that.
So that was a lot of pounds of tomatoes, huh?
Yes. A lot.
A lot. One of the things that John has definitely told me to do on our garden when we get it set up, we need to get our water situated. I don't know if you guys can see the drip irrigation setup that he's got. I believe he's got timers. We'll ask him here in a bit. Yeah, he said yes. So I think he's a little camera shy right now, but you know, we'll start talking to him in a bit. Let me start helping him out right now. All right, so what we're doing here is we're just taking off this this string that was holding up the tomatoes. Now, John, why do you guys go with a string instead of a cattle panel or a wire? Just
It's easier. You can go while the plants are growing. You can weave it down there, and Crystal. It takes Crystal about 5-10 minutes to do all these rows.
by herself.
Going up higher
By herself.
by herself.
Okay. And then the placement of your T-posts, is that just by design, or just you do it 4 feet, 5 feet?
Yeah, we can just keep it organized. You know, we put 4 tomato plants in between each T-post.
Okay. Okay.
I think it's 4 or 5. I forget. I always have to look it back up whenever I.
Now, do you guys have anything else other than tomatoes in this plot here?
Tomatoes and cucumbers.
Cucumbers
on the cattle panel.
on the cattle panels. Okay.
Because cucumbers grow so fast you can't do this with them.
Got it. So, see, when we were doing ours, we had everything together. We again, we just kind of winged it and did what we wanted to do. But
you can do tomatoes on cattle panels. We've done it.
no. What I meant was like have tomatoes, peppers, and everything else together. Does that make a difference?
Not really.
No?
It's just we have this plot, and that plot over there, so we just keep them separated.
So your peppers are together, your tomatoes are together, your cucumbers,
You know, all our onions.
on all your onions. Okay.
Then we'll change plots. Like we won't, I don't know if we'll plant tomatoes here or up there next year. We try not to plant the same plants in the same spot because of the minerals that they pull up out of the ground and everything.
Nice. See, I did not know that. Guys, I am learning a lot right now. Again, like I said before, when we started this, we just kind of winged it and didn't do our due diligence. We didn't read up. We thought we were farmers because we had land. And no, guess what? Here we are. So
You gotta start. The main thing is start.
you got to start, right? Okay. And how often do you water your plants here?
Twice a day.
Twice a day?
Early in the morning and at night.
Cool. How long have you guys been doing this for?
The market garden, about 3 years now, 2 or 3 years.
So I was not that far off. Okay.
No,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
We've had a garden forever, but 2 or 3 years doing the market.
But as far as doing the garden, well, not the market, but gardening
forever.
forever.
For a long time.
Okay. Okay.
We've been here 11 years, and we've had one every year since we've been here. Then
Hey guys, that's a lot of knowledge. You guys are listening to that. 11 years is a long time. So, do you guys do a fall garden as well, or is it just sometimes? Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
sometimes.
So we're gonna finish this up, guys. Because I think I'm slowing John down a little bit.
No.
And then we're gonna go up there and kind of show you what they do to clean up the garden area. They got chickens over there, and they got a little tractor with some poly netting for those chickens, and that's how they keep them in. They get watered, then they get fed, So we'll check that out, and then we're gonna move a tarp. Again, I'm gonna try to get as much as I can on these videos or these clips to make this video. So stay tuned, guys. Got puppies here helping us out. So John, why use the string versus a cattle panel?
A couple of different reasons. One is when you're like what we're doing, we're pulling it down now.
Okay.
We can have this bed cleaned in about 30 minutes.
Roughly.
Where if
Okay.
we did cattle panels, just those, if we just did those 2 rows with tomatoes, it would probably take you 4 or 5 hours to get everything cleaned up, because here we can just grab a plant, pull and shake it off and throw
It's
it
done.
in the pile.
Okay.
There, when you got to pull, and you're gonna have a bunch of little sticks and everything to clean up. And
So what I'm trying to understand here is that the cattle panels will the plant will
yeah,
basically
it'll
weave.
Weave up through.
Okay.
Weave
Yeah.
up through the cattle plant.
Let me.
Where like here, you can just grab this plant
It's done.
and you're done. Where over there, all this is weaved in the cattle panel, so you're just steadily pulling it all off.
So your recommendation, if I'm gonna have, let's say, 10 plants,
I would do a cattle panel.
do a cattle panel? Okay.
If you're doing, 50, 60 tomato plants,
Per
I
row.
believe it's called the Carolina weave is what it's called. That's the way to do it.
Carolina weave. Okay. And again, guys, all they do is they start on one end and they basically wrap it around the T-post, and that's it. So what John did is he went and he cut every other T-post, and he's got about 5 foot, 6 foot strands of this twine right there, and that's it. It comes off. That's awesome. And again, I mean, we're just sitting here talking, and he just ripped those plants straight out. No mess, no nothing. And there it is. So he's not having to fight those cattle panels. So if I'm going to do my 10 plants on one row, I'm probably going to do the cattle panel. Or I could just come over here and borrow some of the twine from him.
Yeah.
So there it is. Nice. This is awesome. See, I wish I would have asked somebody before I just started planting. Because again, so guys, when I said earlier that we had corn, we did rows like this, but our rows were from here to his parking lot, which is a long ways, and that was not very smart for us to do. We didn't think things through, and we didn't ask, and we just kind of thought we knew what we were doing, but we had no idea. Do you have your watering hoses on a timer?
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah, we have it all on a timer, so they water in the morning and at night. And it's the only way to go.
Nice.
Drip irrigation is, we found, what works for best for us.
For you guys. Okay. What about fertilizer? What do you guys use?
We get, the only fertilizer we really use is we get compost, the premium compost from Texas Organic.
Got it. Awesome.
We
Awesome.
buy a dump truck load every year.
Every year. Okay. All right. So you guys start off all your seedlings inside,
Yes.
and then you bring them out.
We harden them off, then we'll bring them out and just plant them, and hopefully they survive.
Now, one thing that I'm amazed about, and I say that, in the nicest way possible, but their kids are involved with everything, guys, and they have their kids come out here, and I was impressed last weekend when they were at our place, and we had cooked, and I had cut up a cabbage, not cabbage, it was lettuce. Sorry, guys. And his kids were going over there, and they were putting veggies on the tacos, and I was just amazed by that, because my kids, I gotta convince them or negotiate with them to eat vegetables, but not his kids, man. And I think that's amazing that the kids are involved in everything that they do. So John had to go inside real quick to get some things taken care of. But so basically, this string, the way they run it down here at the bottom, they loop it around the T-post, and they weave it through each one of their plants. And then they come back on the other side. And guys, this is amazing. I'm amazed by this. I mean, again, I'm definitely new at this, but my goodness, this is going to be a game changer for us, because I was doing it wrong. I didn't read this. I should have done my research. But again, the group that we are on Facebook, there's a lot of people with a lot of information, a lot of skills that don't mind sharing it. You know, so they offer the classes to come out here and teach you guys. Now, I don't know if Crystal's going to hold a class like this. I think she should, because this is amazing. This is something that they've been successful at for a long time. That they have actually started selling a lot of their produce in the market. So, you know, if this is for you and you want to learn some more, reach out to Crystal, guys. John has a lot of information as well. But this is awesome. I like it. Can't wait to talk to Crystal here in a bit. Not that I don't want to talk to John anymore, but you know, I want to get her perspective on these things too.
Crystal's way better than I am.
I think John is being very, very polite with that comment, but she might be actually.
She is.
So again, guys, this is I'm like a little kid in a candy store right now, getting this knowledge from John. I've never asked him before. Everything that we've ever talked about was mostly our life experience and what we do at work and whatnot, but never really got to talking about the garden, you know. I guess because I thought Crystal was the one that had all the, you know, knowledge, and it looks like John knows a lot. I need to pick his brain a little bit more often. And but again, we'll go talk about his quail here in a bit. Hopefully we can see that cage that he came up with. And they're getting into quail as well. They also do meat birds, Cornish cross. I don't know if they're going to get into other birds to sell, but that's what they're doing. They don't have a whole lot of land here, but what they do have, they maximize it.
We have just a little over an acre.
They have a little bit over an acre, guys, and they maximize this this piece of land that they have. Like I said, I right now, I mean, I came in, yeah, sure, John's gonna make me work, whatever, you know, why not? Let's do it. I'm not working, guys. He's doing everything. This is knowledge for me right now. I'm taking this in, and truthfully, this is not work. I mean, the way he's doing it, I mean, he already cleared a couple of little areas over there. I mean, less than, I don't know, 5 minutes, you know.
It takes longer to cut the string than it does anything else.
Again, guys, I'm gonna put this down. I didn't bring my tripod. It's back at the truck. I'm gonna start helping. We're gonna clear this out, and then we'll get back to it. I took these rows right here, and we're just piling it up while John is still cutting and doing his thing over there. So what I did here was, John said that we're pulling these T-posts out, and as we're sitting here doing this and we're talking, he mentioned that doing this at this time right now is probably the best time to do it, because look, T-posts are in roughly about 10 inches, maybe a foot down, and that's it. Like he said that one of the times that when they started doing this, he drove them down like if he was doing a fence, and he said that was a big mistake. So again, doing this at this time is perfect, because pulling everything out, everything's dead, makes the job that much easier. And then all that's gonna go is gonna get into a burn pile, or it's he's not gonna compost it. I asked if that's something that we can give to our goats. I don't think it's a good idea, because they're nightshades, and we don't know how the goats would react to it. And I asked him, what about the chickens? Well, chickens are only going to eat what's down at the bottom, because they're not going to go up high while they're still green. So again, they let them do their thing here, and then they work their garden, come out at the end of the season, or right before the preparation of the new season, which is, this is going to get covered up as well, but the chickens are going to come through here first. He did mention that earlier, that they're going to rotate those chickens over here. So that chicken tractor is going to come over here with that nylon netting, or electric netting, for poultry netting. And we'll ask him what he uses. We'll go look at his setup as well. But here it is, guys. almost done.
This is real hard work.
What was that, John? I don't think I could hear.
I said, this is really hard work.
Again, guys, I'm just hanging around, you know, taking up all this knowledge, man. Oh, I'm excited about this though. I think we're gonna do a garden. I don't think it's gonna. We're not gonna do in ground yet. If we do, it'll be beds, small beds, and I'll probably be doing the cattle panel to start off. And then I don't know, maybe in a couple of years when we get good at growing our plants, our vegetables, we will expand. But like I said, man, we did it, and doing it is probably the start of making mistakes and whatnot, because I don't think there's anybody out there that can start something like this and get it right the first time. You know, you're gonna get a lot of things right, but not everything's gonna go right. So you're gonna make baby steps, and I think that us knowing our limits and, you know, acquiring the information from people like John and Crystal, you know, this right here, it's definitely going to help us get our plants started, our garden started. So we're going to keep at it, guys. So he'll get the chickens over here at a different day, because he's going to get the chickens moved. I don't think today. He's got a tarp that needs to be covered back over there, or a tarp that needs to be moved to a new location to cover up a new garden area. So what he's doing now, he's actually removing these cattle panels and just moving them aside so he can finish all this and then get the chickens in here. So again, you know, the recommendation is don't be afraid to fail. You know, John says get started. That's the most important thing. Just get started. You know, and again, look how easy those T-posts come up. They're not in too deep, fairly easy. Just pull them out, set them aside. So T-posts, twine, cattle panels, irrigation system. He will be reusing that. And I asked him about, you know, covering these rows for weed control, and they don't use it. And John, why don't you guys use
The what again?
the weed cloth?
We just didn't use it last year. I think we're going to this year.
Okay.
But you got to be careful because it gets hot in Texas. So I don't know what we're going to cover. We normally use black, but it gets hot and some of the plants don't do too hot.
They don't do too well with the heat.
They
Okay.
get too hot.
Too hot. Okay. Okay.
I found some white stuff we're going to try to use maybe.
Okay. All right.
But that's the worst thing about the garden is keeping the weeds under control. Especially when you have as many as we do.
Yeah, you guys have a lot. You guys have a lot. Again, this is they're not a commercial style, but yet they do enough where they go to the market, and again, it's for them, and it's a little business that they have, you know. So support your local farmer. You know, they just because they don't have a huge plot of land doesn't mean that they're not farmers. Homesteaders, farmers, that's what we are. That's what we do. So as you can see, these rows are not that deep. They're not that far. They're not that long. Good spacing, enough for you to walk in and out and do all your collection or your harvesting. Again, I like their setup. It was nice. I have gotten a lot of information, you know, just sitting here hanging around with him, helping him out. So that's it. We go help him out and move on to the next project. So these chickens will finish cleaning up here. They'll get rotated down there. What then John will do is he'll take those drip lines, move them out of the way, and then he'll burn off whatever's left over here from these weeds and the rest of the plants, and then he'll cover it up after that. And that tarp will stay on there until it's ready to be worked on right before planting. So he's gonna get some compost in here and finish it out. That little tractor he's got is pretty cool. We're gonna build a couple of those for our place. So he's gonna wait until those chickens go to bed at night. That's where they'll roost, and then from there he'll just bring it out of there, move the poultry netting with the solar. Like I said, I'll ask him here as soon as he gets back here, see what brand they're dealing with. I believe I've showed a couple of the ones that we use. As far as the netting goes, I forgot the brand on ours, but I'll start sharing some of the links on where we get our stuff from. Actually, we get ours from Amazon. I'll ask him where he gets his. It could be a local supply or it could be Amazon as well. But these are all his chickens. And as you can see, guys, this is what we want to do with ours. We don't want to free range anymore. Well, not all of them anyway, because we got like, I think 70 or more. He doesn't have that many here. And they do pretty well with eggs throughout the year. He did mention that there was a couple of these that were going to get processed because they're just older and they're not producing anymore. So there it is.